finally here. Zephy been fried. Episode 1. This is a big deal. This is history right now being made. Man, did it take a lot to get to this point. I've been sticking with this music shit since my son was a year old. My son is 16 now. And we're going to be getting him on the line every now and then to talk to him and his takes on stuff. Has a lot of personality, very funny young man. My name is F. Solis. I'm basically in line to be like a Pharrell type character, a Ye type character. Am I trying to be like them or sound like them or look like them? Absolutely not, obviously. I look like I'm bringing back hair metal bands or some shit. I should be in spandex. Yo. I'm saying all different styles of rapping and music that I've always been experimenting with and making for a long time. Forever rising to infinite. My grandma Judy taught me how to sew back when I was a skateboarder and I was sponsored as a teenager. And then once I stopped skateboarding seriously and started making music, I got heavy into fashion in the early 2000s in the golden era of streetwear and sneakerhead culture. I was out in Soho a lot with my broski Sergio. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have bread like that, but for the money we was making selling bud and working at the jewelry store and working other jobs that I worked at Uniqlo when it first opened up. Like, we was making it happen. Much love to the spirit of my bro Sergio. We was in the underground cabs. For those of y'all that may not know, the underground cabs was supposed to be like an illegal cab service. Like, they had bases and everything, like how like to report rides they was getting paid for, but they was illegal. It wasn't official in terms of paperwork. So these dudes had to be low key, and yet they was standing out more than any other vehicle on the road, blasting music, blasting whatever new mixtapes was out in the early 2000s, TVs in the headrest, probably just finished smoking the L to the face, smelling crazy in there. You know what I'm saying? Lights underneath the SUV, tricked out Denali or fucking whatever SUV. And we used to, pay them a little extra to let us smoke in there. We would go have them drive us to Post or the Autobahn in the Heights, go get that good haze, and then scroll up and have them drive us from there to Soho and hop out like we was rappers way before I was ever making music. You know what I'm saying? Just to go shop and buy streetwear in Soho. So, that's what I'm about. I make clothes. I have a clothing brand called Recluse. I show a lot of the pieces I made. I'm in the process of revamping the website so we could relaunch that. You can contact me personally if you want some pieces ahead of time. And I make music, so that's why I say, Pharrell, Ye. I might be very different from them, obviously look-wise, personality-wise, and whatnot, even music-wise, but same lineage of being like just a straight-up 360 all-around culture shifter. And that's what I'm here for, and I'm here to put on for the BX, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to put on for the BX and for New York City and for hip hop culture in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't born or raised in Puerto Rico. I only been there one time in my life. I was born and raised in the Bronx. And that was my roots. That was my village. That was my culture. And that's where hip hop was created. So, and that's where Marvel Comics was created. So it's like, that's where Stan Lee's from. A lot of comic book culture and music and hip hop, like, that's what made me who I am. And I'm a pop culture addict. Literally since I was 2 years old, I was a gifted child. They would try to put me in gifted classes and stuff as a kid. So my obsession as a child was, I was 2 or 3 years old watching Beverly Hills 90210. My grandmother's house, like watching crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just like to consume culture. I was just always obsessed with culture. I'm glad y'all here with me. I listen to so many different forms of music that whenever these new subgenres pop up, it's kind of quick for me to be able to understand the reference points. Virgil, Rising to Infinite Virgil, he used to talk about how you need strong reference points as an artist to know where your creativity came from, to know where it's going. So that's why when I see the new stuff or where music's going, I know the reference points. Oh, this came from this. And with I Am Music, with Playboi Carti in general, and a lot of the underground rap of today, a lot of it comes from mixtape era Wayne, Carter 2, Drought is Over, Drought 3, combined with Future, combined with Young Thug. A lot of the complaints people have of like, yo, he just saying the same few bars over and over again. It's like, yeah, it's a derivative of hip hop, but it's not meant to be the same exact thing as what came before it. That's why we keep evolving. So the repetitiveness is very inspired by punk. You know, I grew up listening to the Casualties, one of my favorite bands. I had a whole punk phase in my life. I was dressing punk in high school and listen to, you know, the Sex Pistols and the Ramones and Black Flag and Bad Brains, all of that. So when I heard the SoundCloud era come in, I understood what it was. I understood it was metal and punk filtered through a lot of trap and a lot of Wayne influenced music. It's a mix that people wouldn't expect to be mixed, which is called a juxtaposition, where you mix two opposites together. So it's things that you wouldn't expect to be mixed. And that's why it throws some people off when they don't have the reference points. If you never really listen to rock music a lot in your past, if you never really listen to metal or punk heavily like that, then you wouldn't get it. If you didn't really listen to like a lot of mixtape era Wayne, you wouldn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Even when Young Thug first came out, if you didn't listen to a lot of mixtape era Wayne, Drought 3, Drought is Over, Carter 2, those are always the ones I mention the most. If you didn't listen to that era of Wayne, then you wouldn't understand Future as much. You wouldn't understand Thug as much. And then, you know, now Cardi. So I never make music with a plan. Like, I'm going to make this type of song or that type of song. I might have loose ideas of like, yo, eventually I want to do a lyrical boom bap record. Or eventually I want to do some swaggy shit with auto tune. But I never have a specific plan how it's going to sound or how I'm going to sound. It's all just intuition. Is all how I feel in the moment, and then I cook up a beat, and then it's how the beat makes me feel. And when I listen to certain music, it influences what I make. So that's why I have friends that's, you know, millennials in my age range or whatever, and they'll hear the new stuff I'm making is very influenced by SoundCloud era, by Future, by Wayne, by Thug, Cardi, you know, that type of Uzi. And when they hear those influences in my music, I had one of my peoples who makes music himself try to be like, oh, what are you trying to cater to teenagers? Stop trying to make music for teenagers and just make what you want to make. I'm like, this is what I want to make. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's no age cap or age limit to what you could do and when you could do it. Like, it's about what makes sense to you. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? So now that you see my reference points, now you see I'm not doing it just to cater to an age range. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it because that's what I fuck with. I was punk. You know what I'm saying? Then I got into mixtape era Wayne. I got into hip hop. I used to listen to lyrical shit too. I was heavy in the Dipset at one time. So I got all these different references. I listened to Aphex Twin back when it was on MTV, when MTV was actually playing music videos. You know what I'm saying? I listen to Animal Collective. You know, for those who know who that is. I listen to a lot of MGMT. You know, so it's like all those references what makes my music the way it is, and that's why I personally really liked this I Am Music project. I've been a fan of Cardi's music since Awful Records, Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Father and Slug Christ and all of them, like since then. And it's funny because my son, he be wanting to hate on everything. He's in that age, that teenage obnoxious age where he want to hate everything. So he be trying to shit on Kendrick just because Kendrick's popular, because he's lyrical. And teenagers, oh, that lyrical. But I'm always early on shit. I swear to God, that's one thing I could say about myself. I'm always early on shit. I was listening to Kendrick back in Overly Dedicated in the blog era. And I found out about him through blogs. When he came out, when he had just dropped Overly Dedicated, it was a new project at the time. And I love his trajectory and where he's taking it. And I love to see that the artist that my son's a big fan of Cardi's music, and the artist he be trying to shit on the most, Kendrick, had 3 records on his album. You know what I'm saying? I was like, got him. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna try to speak negatively on that, even though it's Cardi. We're gonna see. We'll break down the songs, but some of it to me felt like filler, and that's my biggest critique with a lot of the artists that make what's quote unquote underground rap, or the artists that make music that's like subgenres off of what Rage Beats was. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those artists, they'll put like fucking 28, 30 some songs on the album, and I hear like 10, 5 to 10 strong records that I'm like, yo, they could have just kept this for SoundCloud and just made like a real straight to the point EP with just these few records, and that would have hit harder. You know what I'm saying? That's my only critique. But other than that, I love the album. We're gonna call my son and get into it. All right, so we got my son, executive producer of one of my 4 albums that I'm slowly rolling out songs for, and also producer of a few of my new songs coming up. Yes, he's making beats now. He's a natural, just like his dad, Jesse Solis. So, yo, you be acting like you're the music connoisseur of everything, like you're the expert of everything. So, what's good? We're gonna give like a quick rundown of the album. We're not gonna go song for song because it's 30 freaking songs. It's a lot. We're gonna start with Pop Out. Pop Out! Pop Out! That's fucked up, man. I try to invite you on my podcast, and this is what you do? Yo! Yo!
You like Final Agenda over his whole album, so you can't really.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I think Cardi sounds well seasoned in that style of music, in that genre. He sound like he been doing it longer. Like I could hear it. I got the ear for it.
He sound like he hopped in the booth for like 10 minutes and made that one song.
So let's see. So we start. We're not gonna run through all the songs because it's 30 songs. It's gonna be too much.
Now we are gonna
But we
record
do we
songs.
do the highlights. So Pop Out. Pop Out.
Yup.
Out of any of the songs on this album, this is the closest to Whole Lotta Red. What you think about Pop Out?
I liked it. It was a good song. It was like
I
an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 song.
you think that song sound the most like Whole Lotta Red era Cardi?
Nah.
What song you think
Well,
sound
nah. There was more songs like
that sound more like that?
Olympian was kind of
Yeah.
that same era.
Yeah.
Same with Opium Baby a little bit.
Yeah, those are my favorite. Opium Baby and Olympian is my favorite on the album. Honestly, it's probably about 9, 10 records out of the 30 that I feel like is the strongest. And I know from where he's coming from, he dropped 30 because he felt like he hadn't dropped in a
Get me out
while.
of here.
Because he
Yo.
felt like he hadn't dropped in a
Dookie
while.
something.
Yo, you can't be making commentary about the video game, bro.
Nah, cause it's Dookie.
I'm trying to talk. So I know he dropped 30. I feel like he didn't have to. He could have dropped a clean 10 pack, EP.
5 years for an EP.
But yeah, it was 5 years, so I get that. That's why he dropped 30 because he wanted to
Let's
give
cut it off.
all different types of styles of what he does for every different fan. So that's why he kept saying there's gonna be a song that everyone likes. Some people might not like this song, other people like the other. So I get it. So now the next song is Crush. So you gonna let me crush? I thought honestly this was produced by Travis Scott. Actually, I think he was the main producer on this joint. Um, I thought they didn't need the choirs, like the. I think that in the background was hard. You could have got that faint little, those little simplistic choirs in the background. But once the choir started coming in and saying, "So they gonna let me crush," like they were saying something profound, like in a church, but they talking about him smashing. Like I thought that was doing a little too much. I didn't like it that much. Maybe if he would have done away with the choirs, it would have been a better record. I think it was overproduced. That's what I thought. What you thought about Crush?
Terrible song, just terrible song. It's very terrible. I hate the song. It's
You,
terrible.
you you just didn't like the production?
Yeah, beat was trash. Travis Scott's trash.
Ooh, you heard that? Everybody heard that. That's on the record. So if
Yeah,
I
I
if
don't like white people too.
when I
Everybody hear that? I don't like white people because all they do is listen to Travis Scott and
he
Kendrick
said it, not
Lamar,
me.
two worst artists of this
Listen,
generation.
disclaimer,
Trash.
I don't agree with everything my son said because that's my son. We have very different opinions on a lot of things. So Travis, you already know, we gonna work on music soon. When we end up in the same studio, same rooms together, same even stage, just remember this guy said that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let Travis.
I'll knock Trav
I'm
out.
gonna let Travis put you in a headlock when we go on tour with
I'll
Travis
knock
Scott.
Travis.
I raised this kid on Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight. So he's talking,
Yo, why is
but
he talking like he's talking to Travis Scott
but
right
he was a little kid. He was a little kid in the back of my car. I was driving through Florida in the
Oh
back of
my
my
God.
car while I was playing Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight. So those songs mean a lot to him. Don't let him fool you. Um,
Glaze.
So now what's the next one? K-pop. I don't even remember that one. I'll play a little bit, but I'm gonna cut that part out.
Ketamine, that's ketamine.
Oh, it's ketamine. Oh, he just changed the name of it. Ketamine got burnt out. Of course, like a lot of songs get burnt out on TikTok. I still rock with ketamine. And Evil Jordan. Evil Jordan got burnt out on TikTok. I still rock with it. I try not to let TikTok ruin my songs that I like. You know, there's certain songs I like. I try to get it out of my brain that is shit. If something's on TikTok too much, you don't like it anymore, right?
Yeah, unless it's like certain things.
So K-pop, Evil Jordan, what you thought?
Trash to me. I don't know. It's
Why?
just basic trap beats.
Mojo Jojo featuring Kendrick. That's
That was
another.
garbage. That was
My
garbage.
my son my son be trashy. He's a teenager and teenagers love to trash stuff. Like if you get any negative comments on a post,
Kendrick Lamar ruined the album.
if you when you are a famous music artist or artist on the come up, any artist, anybody in general that gets negative comments on social media, majority of them are teenagers. I will guarantee you that. Even if they don't,
Kendrick Lamar
even if
ruined
they're
the whole
hiding with a
album,
fake
so.
profile picture, there's probably a teenager. So
Kendrick Lamar literally ruined the
he's
album.
a 16-year-old, so he hates majority of everything that's out there.
I mean, you like Kendrick Lamar.
He think he up on the late because everything's underground, right? So he not balanced. I listen to a little bit of everything. So I love to see Kendrick was on 3 songs. Cardi's one of his favorite rappers. He didn't know Kendrick, and he was trashing Kendrick after GNX came out. So I love to see that somebody he said was corny, was whack, all that ended up on 3 songs on his favorite rapper's album. I love to see it.
Cardi's not my favorite rapper.
Stop lying.
I swear to God.
Cap, gassing it. Tough. And the beat is simplistic. It's one of them beats. See, that's a flex as a producer when you can make a beat that doesn't have so much on it and it's still hitting. I like to do both. Sometimes I like to have a beat with a lot going on, and then other times I like to flex by like, look, I got 2 sounds on this beat and it's fire. And that's what Mojo Jojo was production-wise to me. I thought it was a huge flex that he got the most popping rapper of the past 2 years, the most lit rapper right now, Kendrick, as just a hype man on this record. He didn't even have to do a verse. He has a verse on the other 2. But this one,
he just lit rapper. He's not the most lit rapper.
Bro, he did the Super Bowl. He destroyed one of the most pop rappers of all time, Drake. He been everywhere, all over social media.
Osama's son is more lit than Kendrick.
Osama's son didn't perform. There's so many people who don't know who Osama's son is.
Super Bowl is
Osama's son is lit.
Performing at the Super Bowl is trash.
Osama's son is lit in terms of what you like, but I'm talking about who's the most popular rapper right now. He got the most popular rapper on Mojo Jojo. On Mojo Jojo, he got the most popular rapper to just be a hype man. He didn't even have a verse on it. He was just a hype man. So that was hard. I thought that was tough. I like Mojo Jojo.
Because you're glazing.
You just finished glazing Che and Osama, so stop it, bro. When he comes out here for the summer, if we gonna be downtown in Soho, LES, Brooklyn, if we bump into them, we're going to see how he's going to react to these dudes that he glazed so much. Because we probably going to bump into them. You know what I'm saying? I be seeing everybody in the city. So we'll see in the summertime when he's out here. We're going to do vlogs and all of that. We're going to be vlogging. You're going to be all in front of the cameras. You can't hide. He tried to hide. It took us a lot just to get this production going. He was trying to hide. Yeah, what?
You know what I mean?
I don't want to be perceived by humans.
You know what I mean?
Mojo Jojo was fire. What you thought of Mojo Jojo?
For how that sounded, that's how trash it was.
He be trying to shit on me for having sci-fi subject matter in my music because he want me to talk regular, ignorant. He want me to talk like every other rapper on my records. He's like, well, you talk too much outer space stuff. And it's like, I love to hear Kendrick and Cardi talking that type of shit just to shut him down and show like, bro, I'm not the only one. I told you, I know what I'm doing. Radar, you heard Radar?
Yeah, that was trash too. That beat sounded like a Glorilla beat. That was trash.
Who's the producer that Metro Boomin was trying to sound like on his record?
I don't know the producer, but it just sounded like an old beat or like a Glorilla beat. It was trash though, either way.
Lex Luger was one of the architects of trap music and what would later become even underground. Oh, let's do it. All that, all like early Waka Flocka, some of Gucci Mane, a lot of Wayne, a lot of Ross. I'm not a star. That's one of my joints. All Lex Luger. That them horns and all of that. That sound like super villain music. That's Lex Luger.
Yo,
So
come on,
that
super villain
so I
shit.
gotta you see I gotta put him on. I gotta give him some learning lessons. And he a producer
I
now.
don't care who is trying
He's
to
a
sound like you is
producer.
trash.
He's arrogant now because that's what
I don't care.
teenagers
It's
do.
trash.
He's arrogant because that's what teenagers do. But later he's gonna thank me for putting him onto game and history. Lex Luger is who
Your
inspired this
music
beat,
taste is garbage. You
hands
said
down,
Cochise was good.
hands down. I honestly I didn't like this
Yo,
song
you
that
said
much.
Cochise was good.
I didn't like this song that much because I've listened to early Lex Luger when he first came out, and I thought Lex Luger could have done these horns better. That's just my producer ear. I just think the horns could have had more low end on them. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't bad. But I like experimental Cardi better. That's why Olympian and Opium Baby was my favorites on this album. Rather Lie. I know a lot of y'all like
I
Rather Lie,
like Rather
but
Live,
that's
but it's
because
not
it's
one of my
pop.
favorites. It's probably not even top five.
It's
Like that's
like
a hit. That's a hit.
yeah, and I get what Cardi's doing. He's like, yo, I gotta break it to the mainstream. Had enough time in this game. It's time to break into the mainstream and
That's a hit.
get all the bubblegum fans. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to do it at least once. Everybody, Kendrick, Drake, anybody that hits a certain level, you gotta do it at least once. I might not agree with a lot of the things he's doing right now, but when he was in his prime, he found ways to still be different while still appealing to like the bubblegum pop fans. You know what I'm saying? And that not a lot of people could.
Bubblegum.
Yeah, once you start doing music that could be played in a mall, like or in Target or something, you know what I'm saying?
It's it's
Or
more of a pop. It's more
like
of a funk.
like I Wanna
It's
Lie.
more of a hyper pop.
That's a song you're gonna hear played in like a water park in the summertime and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not bad. It's not a bad song, but it's not my taste. I'm not into that. And I like The Weeknd too, but I don't like a lot of Weeknd stuff because it's too pop.
That song was fire.
You
I
need
don't
to
know.
have a
That song was
balance.
fire.
Like it's too. My favorite type of pop is not what you would expect. My favorite type of pop is MGMT and Tame Impala. I feel like they should be the Rolling Stones and the Beatles of this era, but they just probably don't care enough to try to be at that level. You know what I'm saying? That's my type of pop music that I like. And even if it's certain Weekend songs I like, it's not my taste. Fine shit. What's fine shit?
Yeah, that's one of the best songs on the album. That song's fire. That's top five. That's top five.
I get why he likes it, cause that's something he would dance to his little boo thing with at prom. You know what I'm saying? And she'll push his dreads
Nah,
back.
it's not.
She'll push his,
Let's get real
she'll,
music. You
she'll,
like
she'll push his dreads behind
Kendrick?
his
You
ear.
is that's the crazy thing. You say Kendrick Lamar is fire, but then not like that. That's so crazy.
That's what
It's trash.
he slow dance with his
It's
boo
crazy.
to Cardi's fine shit, and she'll push his dreads behind his ear so she can stroke his cheek ever so longingly while they're at
Hey,
prom.
this
That's
guys creating scenarios. In his
that's
head.
prom. That's his prom music. You know, I get it. He's a teenager. It's puppy love. You know what I'm saying? It's puppy love music. I get it. That's good for the summertime. You know what I'm saying? Y'all split a meal together. Y'all
You
split a
don't
meal
get it.
together at Chick-fil-A and all that. That's cool. Back Door was hard. I like Back Door. That's a nice summertime, springtime record. I like that. That's a real nice sunny day. That's you know what I'm saying. That's what it feels like. Nice sunny day, breezy. You walking through the city in a good fit. Ooh, you feeling good. You just took a shower. You smelling right. You know what I'm saying. You ready to you know what I'm saying. Bump into the right one. You know what I'm saying. And have that little interaction. You know that's a. I like this song.
I don't know, but Kendrick was on that song, right? Yeah, you ruined it. He was on that song.
He just like to go whatever the comments are saying. You know what I'm saying.
That's what I thought. First listen,
He's
without
a
no comment, his verse was garbage.
he think he live inside of a physical version of a comment section at all times.
Alright, Kendrick didn't ruin it. Like what?
But it
That
was
door, man, that was such a good song too.
yeah, that's spring summertime right there. That's that good spring summertime
It
music.
was
You
no,
know,
I'm saying it was a good song, but I wish Kendrick wasn't on it.
I like that. I love that. I love the duet
I wish
with
it was just Cardi.
Gina
Yeah, cause
Iko.
you like Kendrick so much,
He
even,
getting
even when he's trash, you like him.
no, I don't like all his songs. There's plenty of songs I'll tell you I don't
Like
like.
that one
I
song
wish I would
where
have
you're
done an
like
episode when GNX
talking
came
at
out.
the
I would have
beginning,
I
his
would have told
vocals
you.
were so trash, and you don't want to admit it.
Yeah, I didn't really like that too much. Cardi, yeah, I didn't like that too much. But his verses
His
was hard.
vocals were
The
trash.
melody, the duets with Gina Iko was hard. That it reminded me of what he did with SZA recently. Like I said,
That was not
that's
it.
that good spring summertime music. You in the city, nice sunny day, and yeah. So that's what that's good for. I love that. That's good timing for to drop that one. Toxic was a good simplistic beat, but I was disappointed by Future. I think out of all the features that Future has on here, most of them was really bad. I did not like. I was surprised because I'm a big Future fan. I was surprised they were not good to me at all. We both got to take into mind we not from Atlanta, so there's certain little things that as New Yorkers, Floridians, we might not fully connect with. You know what I'm saying? Even though we understand certain things we don't. So I give it that. But Toxic I didn't really rock with because Future. Munyon. I like that. I like it because Cardi don't usually do like fast flows like that. I like that. That was hard. That was different. He switched it up with that one. I rock with that. That's a good up tempo. That's more energetic. You know what I'm saying? I could skate to a record like that. You know what I'm saying? At the skate park, I'll probably put that on. Um, Crank.
I don't like it because it's burnt out. Because that already was been leaked.
Oh, Crank. I didn't even know that leak. It would have been like one of the lesser tracks on Whole Lot of Red to me if he did like a Whole Lot of Red too. Like it was like, I thought Pop Out was a better version of that sound and that style and Opium Baby.
Pop Out sounded nothing like Current. But you said it would be a better version.
Similar vibe,
You can't even compare the two.
All right, we're going down a whole rabbit hole. I just thought Crank was it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't all that. I was like, I wouldn't put it in my playlist. Charge them hoes a fee. All of us music artists have throwaway songs that never make it to whatever projects we want to put them on. I got plenty of throwaway songs. That's why I drop a song a week. But if I wanted to and just put everything out, I could drop a song every 2 days. But it's just I'm picky about what I put out. And Future, I think, was on that one too, right? Charge them hoes a fee. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was another Future feature I didn't like. Good Credit was hard. Come on, what you thought about Good Credit?
That had Kendrick on it, right? I don't like it.
That was one of the best songs on the album.
I don't like any song with Kendrick on it.
You just said that he sounded good on. You see, he capped, yo. He flip floppy. He was like, nah. Kendrick's parts was alright. Actually, it's cause his voice. He tried to come up with an excuse why he liked it. Nah, cause his voice. I'm like, it's the same voice he used on GNX. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not. No, it's
He act
not.
like he did.
On some of those
He switched up
songs,
his
he wasn't going
flows.
up and down with his voice like
Come
he
on,
usually
bro.
does. Like he wasn't rapping like a
He switched.
cornball.
I'm a vet at. I'm a veteran at this shit. I know. Trust me, I got the ear.
You don't know anything. You like
Alright,
Kendrick Lamar and Coach Cheese. You're still stuck in 2022.
I don't like every song by these people. He act like I'm like their biggest fan. Like, stop it, bro. He's reaching right now. He's trying to stretch it. Stretch Armstrong over here. Good Credit was hard. That was one of the best songs on the album, and I'm sure that's the one a lot of people talking about the most, especially because everybody glazing Kendrick right now. I thought Kendrick's verse was fire. You know what I'm saying? I don't just do it. I'm not gonna say it just cause Kendrick's popular now. Nah, that's corny. I thought it genuinely as someone who listened to Kendrick since Overly Dedicated.
When it was Cardi's part, that song was fire. When Kendrick's part, it was trash. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that beat was hard.
As soon as I heard Kendrick's voice, like my face.
I think Cardo Got Wings, the producer Cardo Got Wings, is the reason why Cardi and Kendrick linked up. Because a lot of people may not know Cardo Got Wings did damn, what was the song? I think Cardo Got Wings did a couple of the diss records that Kendrick had at Drake. And Cardo been on a run, man. He been on a legendary run as a producer, and I respect that he's low key. He's not like he could be like a Pharrell or Kanye, but he don't really put himself out there like that. He'll do a couple interviews, he chill, but he's one of them ones right now in this generation of current producers. You got to give him his credit. Cardo Got Wings. He did most of this album. The next song, I See You, Baby Boy. You said that's one of your favorites, right?
That's like top 5.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I just realized I See You, Baby Boy is with that leak that he was performing in front of the baby.
No, I didn't see that one.
You remember?
It was one of those songs that sound better in the leaks, though.
You remember when he was dancing? Remember when he was dancing with the baby? That baby was in the stroller.
What? Oh yeah. Nah.
They called it Young Vamp Love. Some corny person put that name on it. I'm sure that wasn't Cardi. Yeah, that I didn't realize that was Young Vamp Love. I See You, Baby Boy. It's a good example of layering a lot of different sounds and it all is cohesive, it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you want a busy beat. Sometimes you want a simple beat,
Nah,
very
it was good, but like
has a
I
lot
said,
of
it sounded
space.
better in the snippet.
I still love it. I think it sounds better now that I hear the full song. I love this song. It's one of my favorites. Wake Up Filthy.
That beat was so
See,
generic.
see now you gotta remember. You gotta remember.
That beat was so
So now we gotta
generic.
remember. I'm an artist, so I'm not listening to this like a regular like fan of music. Like this is one of them songs that I could have featured on. You know what I'm saying? Like Cardi just doesn't know me yet, but you know what I'm saying? Opium Recluse, the Wake Up Filthy remix. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get some Filthy production from my next album. I could hear me on this song. It sound like some of the stuff that I've been working on. You know, for some of my 4 albums that I've been rolling out songs for. He say he don't like it. It's trash. I don't know why. To me, this is what like 2099 that Yeet album. This is what that should have sounded like. Jump in sound like generic trap. I understand that
Nah, you want to talk about generic
it sound like generic
trap?
trap.
I like jumping because Lil Uzi Vert sounded like Future on that one.
Nah, I didn't like any of that. And that's another thing too. I'm a huge Lil Uzi Vert fan. I thought he was gonna go crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the past records they've done, classics. All his everything he
Don't know you. Now I'm about to get mad because you just said Kendrick Lamar's verses was fire. Lil Uzi Vert, that what's it called?
every
Twin Trend, that song.
everything that
That's
everything
top 5 on that album.
everything Uzi did on this album, I didn't really like. And and I
Twin Trend is top
and
5 on that album.
I love Lil Uzi Vert's music, bro. I love Lil
Yo,
Uzi
but
Vert.
Kendrick was good. Nah, yo, come on,
Every
man.
I mean, we got different taste in music,
This
bro.
guy's music taste is fried.
I listen to more types of music than you do. I got a wider range of taste.
No, you
So jumping was like, but you see, I have to take into consideration he's returning to his roots on some of these songs. The same way Kendrick is doing some real Cali type music, the same way that Cardi's doing with this album for a lot of these songs. So I take that into consideration why I might not like some of these because it's like he's purposely trying to salute where he comes from. Mixtape era trap, and a lot of Atlanta music. So to me, this just jumping sound like generic trap music. Young Thug is one of my favorite artists of all time, and I was just like, to me, it sounded like Young Thug was trying to shake off the rust and get back to where he left off. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to. It was like he was getting reconditioned. He was getting back in his mode, but he wasn't quite there yet again.
All is really invalid. You just said Kendrick Lamar's verses were fire, Lil Uzi verses were trash, and Young Thug's were trash.
Listen,
Those were
man,
fried.
Thug on this song sounded like when I don't skate for months because I'm working on music and clothing and stuff, and then I get back on a skateboard and I gotta like relearn a lot of my tricks from scratch all over again. I'm kind of like rusty. Like I said, Young Thug's one of my favorites of all time. So I have hope that whatever new records he comes out with or whatever new album he drops on his own, hopefully he features Cardi on it, is gonna be way better than this. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like he didn't know what to say. It sounded like he was still trying to figure out, okay, I can't talk about a lot of the same stuff because the feds is listening. What do I say? You know what I'm saying? They want to see how we pop it. I was like, oh yeah, I guess whatever. I wasn't rocking with it. Olympian, one of the best songs. This is one of the highlights of this album. I still feel like Olympian and Opium Baby is the two greatest records on this album, hands down. Hands down.
He's tripping.
Another song that, once again, as a rapper myself, I feel like if me and Cardi already knew each other before this album
Oh
came
my
out,
god.
if me and
Yo.
Cardi was cool already before this album came out, and he would,
Me and Cardi.
I definitely would have featured on this song, Olympian. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like beats that I make. This sound like a beat that I would have made. And as much as he want to talk smack, whatever, said that too. He said that it sounded like one of my production. My friend said the same thing, that it sounded like something I would have made in terms of the production. So yeah, I would have loved to feature on Olympian. That's definitely my style right there. What you thought about Olympian?
I just said
What?
it was good, but like Weezy was better.
Like Weezy? Yeah, like Weezy was good too. That's actually one of the best. Opium Baby. What you thought about Opium Baby?
It was good.
To me, it reminded me of like the deep fried memes. It was like a song version of a deep fried meme. Not trying to be jokey or nothing. It wasn't a joke, but it was like when they deep fried the picture with mad filters on purpose. That's what the beat sounded like in a good way. That's how I got the vibe of. It's very internet culture heavy, and I remember seeing an interview with Opium Baby on Kids Take Over, and he talked about that. So, Opium Baby had a hand in the production, and I could tell some of the references of how this was made, and like I said, Opium Baby is probably the best song on this album to me personally.
No.
Cardi probably feels the same because that's the first one he did a music video for. You didn't notice that? You didn't see the music video?
Like Weezy's the best song on the album.
That's the thing. He be trying to make fun of me for millennial takes or whatever. And then Cardi gets on the album and says, I get M's millennial. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cardi's a millennial. So, I don't know what you talking about.
He's a cool one.
Yeah, like me, bro. I'll take my Uzi critique back. That one I like. I didn't like the other Uzi feature, but Twin Trim I like. It was just Uzi on the song, right? It was like an interlude. Technically, because it was just Uzi on the song, so you could consider that an interlude.
Yeah.
And yeah,
No,
I like.
you know who made that beat too?
Who?
Rock on the track. Rock on the track.
And you know that that I now that I listen to it again, I think that does sound like Purple Hair Uzi. What you think? More classic style. Yeah, that was hard. I like Twin Trim. Like Wheezy. So he said that's his favorite. Oh yeah. No. This is hard.
That's the best song on the album right there. Like Weezy's the best song.
To me,
It's the best just for the fact that the beat is so different.
Yeah, not
like Olympian or Opium Baby would be the best, but their beats are like basic.
Nah,
like
Opium Baby is the most
ladies.
different to me. The Like Wheezy is very Atlanta. Yeah, sample the Rich Kids. That's a very Atlanta sound. I love this song. Super hard. It's tough. I love this song.
What, like Weezy?
Yeah. Supposedly he's dropping another album, Baby Boy. I'm looking forward to that. You probably say you more looking forward to the Che album than another Cardi album.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Cardi album wasn't all that. It had like
Well, when the Che
10,
album,
15 good songs.
yeah, it did.
Che
But
album,
I'll agree with him on that.
great.
When Che comes out, we'll review that album. I'm gonna get you on here again.
All the leaks have been no misses. So
Yeah, you guys send me the leaks because I've been working on my own music so
on
much.
Spotify and look up Rest in Bass. You could probably find like the leaks of like 5 songs.
It's not resting bass, bro. It's resting bass. Come on, man.
It don't matter.
What grade you got in language arts, bro?
What?
What's your grade in language arts?
Hey.
Good. Nah, he's a good student, but he resting bass. He wildin'. That should be coming out soon. We'll review that. So you already know Jesse Solis. We got a song coming out together, song that he produced. And we got actually a few records that's gonna come after that. But yeah, he's executive producing one of my 4 albums. I've been trying my best to release a new single every week, and they're all gonna add up to 4 albums by like winter. So I'm just gonna keep dropping from now all the way to like winter. And one of the albums is just an album that he's producing and executive producing. I think it might be called Poop D Scoop, but he's not really rocking with that name. He's executive producer,
that's
but
not what it's gonna be called.
I still like that name.
album's gonna be called.
We'll shoot the cover when you come out here. I use that other cover. That won't be the cover for it. I just use that as like in the meantime cover. I showed him a picture I edited. But we'll shoot a cover when we come out here. It's gonna be epic. So, you know, Jesse Solis. My mom in the background with the bass signal crackling from the bag or whatever he's eating. And that's that. I Am Music. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about my bro Sergio. So Sergio passed away not that long ago, and let's just say it was due to messing up his brain chemistry and having mental health issues. We just leave it there. You do the rest. I don't want to, out of respect for him and his family, I don't want to say too much. You know what I'm saying? I got to be very careful. But at the same time, I'm not one to stay quiet about this. I'm not that type. You know what I'm saying? I'm a voice. You know, I'm here to speak. Everyone has their part to play, and I'm here to speak. And I remember the first time I ever met Sergio. So I had just quit taking skateboarding seriously. I was sponsored by a skate shop. Shout out Premium Skate Shop in Florida. I was born and raised in the Bronx. and moved to Florida at 11 and moved back to New York in the Bronx at 15 to live with my dad in West Farms over there by Tremont. My dad been there since he was a kid. My mom was in Lambert houses right behind that since she was a kid. That's how they met each other. But yeah, I would move back. My dad, he was in West Farms at the time, so I ended up going to Morris High School. I'm 15 years old, going to Morris. Mind you, I moved back to the Bronx around the time when Pharrell was doing "You Can't Be Me, I'm a Rock Star," and Nori was doing what, and Pharrell was popping off, Kanye was popping off. So this is the beginning of the hood starting to accept being weird and different for the first time. Like, so for me to show up, and I'm only weird and different because not only I was just naturally like that, but I was a skateboarder. So I'm wearing slim fitted pants way before skinnies was a thing. I'm wearing bulky skateboarding shoes like what they wearing now, you know what I'm saying, all over again. But mind you, this is like 2005, 2004. You know what I'm saying? So I show up and they loving it. They all fuck with me. So out of everybody I got cool with, I got the closest with my dear friend. I don't speak to him as often. I wish we did speak more, and I've tried. And I know he's a family man. He's very busy. Much love to my dear friend Eli. Eliezer. You know what I'm saying? We got really cool, and that was one of my homies. I remember showing up in the snow to go hang out with him at his apartment, and he went and gave me money to go get a chocolate Entenmann's cake from down the block on Taylor Avenue. I brought that back to his apartment, and we ate some Entenmann's chocolate cake, just shooting the shit, just tell jokes back and forth and talk about anime and shit. So Eli introduced me to Sergio. Now Eli was the reason why I used to go to Taylor Avenue. I didn't live on Taylor Avenue. My pops ended up moving from West Farms to Classen Point at the end of Soundview. And I used to go chill with Eli on his block. Then when the weather got nice, summertime came, I started seeing, oh shit, I'm a teenager, Eli's a teenager, and there's mad other teenagers on this block. Mad other teenagers, different age ranges, but mad other teenagers. And that was how I met a lot of some of my best, closest friends that I have to this day. And that's how I even met down the block in Taylor. Eventually, years later, I ended up meeting the mother of my son, Jesse, Samantha. And that was all because of Eli. If it wasn't for Eli, I wouldn't have known a lot of the people I knew. Because then through those people, I started meeting other people. I first started hanging out with him outside of school. So his pops used to let him drive his car around. He had his license early, so he used to drive around and shit. He was one of the first people doing that, right? So he's like, yo, I want you to meet my bro Sergio. Yo, he reminds me a lot of you. Like, I think y'all would get along. And I was like, word? I bet, cool, whatever. I didn't think much of it. So then one day he pulls up to come pick me up. Sergio's half Dominican, half Costa Rican, so he talked with like a funny accent, but he was like, "Good, Mo." And I gave him that. Like, yo, what's up? So it's hard to describe Sergio. It's gonna sound crazy, but he was like a more innocent version of Scarface, mixed with Rob Dyrdek in the Fantasy Factory. Like he loved Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. He wanted to live like that. Like his parents owned several different like jewelry pawn shops all throughout like the Bronx and even I think in Costa Rica. And so they had some bread about them, you know what I'm saying, compared to a lot of other people, in the Bronx or whatever. So even though he lived on Taylor or whatever, they had bread. So he would just do crazy shit. And then he was just a free spirit, man. Oh my God, we had so much fun. So right off the bat, the first day that I get introduced to him, I'm thinking we just gonna drive around, chill. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm hanging, I'm down with whatever. We drive around, he goes, yo, check this out. And he and Eli's like, oh shit, word. Yo, check that. And they hand it to me. And it's a fucking BB gun, copper pellet BB gun that looks like a real Glock. And we young and dumb. What do we do? Yo, we should shoot out a car window with this. Nah, you gonna do it? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So we drove to like a neighborhood way far from where any of us live. It was in the Bronx. We went to another part of the Bronx, and we pull up and we slow down. And then Eli's thinking in his mind, yo, if I put the music up loud, we won't hear the shots go off. But it's like you're gonna hear it regardless. So he does it, right? He puts the music up loud. And pop, 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 and it goes, it's just an empty parked car, just breaks. And we like, oh shit, we laughing and shit. Drove off. Yeah, yo, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Yo, I want to do it this time. I bet. boom. So we shooting at people. We try to shoot. They had a gumball machine in front of a bodega. We try to shoot that, break that open, and watch the gumballs come out. We couldn't hit it. we, thought, we thought we was in a fucking video game, yo. Teenagers are dangerous. They really don't understand the concept of consequences, yo. This shit is crazy. So we wilding, and then I kept telling Eli, I'm like, bro, you keep putting up the music to cover up the sound. That's how they're gonna identify us, bro. I'm telling you, like both my parents is cops. Like I'm telling you, bro, trust me. And he was like, nah, trust me, it's gonna drown out the sound of the guns. I was like, all right, bet. So we kept doing it, and after a bunch of times of doing it, that all of a sudden, whoop whoop, like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, put it under the seat, put it under the fucking seat. Get the fuck out the car. Took us out the car, put Glocks to our back of our head, had us on our knees with our hands behind our back. We went to the fucking precinct, went there. Yo, that's the first day that me and Serge ever hung out. And this is, I think people that know us, that knew us from back in the day, need to hear this story because we was kind of like a duo back in the day. And I think a lot of people don't know that story of like, that's the first day we ever hung out. I never wanted to be any type of law enforcement, involved with any type of law enforcement like my parents were. I'm very different than how my parents turned out, like very, very different. Like they college educated, they from the hood in the Bronx, but got college educated, did whatever they can to get the fuck up out of there. And then I went back to that shit because that's where I grew up. So I went right back to it. They're like, "What are you doing? Like we try to get you out of this shit." And I just, I'm saying, I was rambunctious, I was wild, I was fearless because I had just gotten out of being a skateboarder, throwing myself down 15 stairs at 14 years old in Miami. Like I was fearless. So that made more sense to me. And then when I realized I never wanted to be a cop like my parents was when we went to the precinct and my pops pulled up with his partner, who's his best friend, who also was his partner in the police force in the 80s in the crack era. He pulled up with him and they talked to one of the plainclothes cops, and he was a dick. That dude, he looked out. My pops and my pop's best friend, who's like an uncle to me, they cops, so they looked out, but they did Eli dirty. They did Eli dirty. They said, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to. Basically, they let us off and then try to put everything on him, and that my heart sank to my stomach, yo. I said, nah, that's not. And my dad was like, shut up, shut up. I was like, yo, these motherfuckers is grimy. Even though most people would have been like, oh, I like being a cop because I'm gonna get away with shit. No, I was like, I'm not rocking with. Like, I love my dad. I love his best friend is like an uncle to me. I love him too. But I was like, nah, they did my man's dirty. I'm good. I'm not trying to be part of none of this shit. Yeah, they put everything on him and let me and Serge go. And I felt so bad. I'm excited for the weather to get better. I've been skating again a little bit. I went to LES, got back on the board again. And I am going to be actually skating like I'm trying to get sponsored again. And I'm not trying to be pro or am or nothing. It's because I'm going to start really incorporating almost like mini skate videos or things I will put in the skate video part into my music videos, into my content. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited because anybody that's from New York knows the city comes alive. We be locked in our crib, getting pale as fuck, melanin not activated. As soon as the sun came out, I went and laid out in Central Park and got as much sun as possible. The past few days it was actually sunny, so I'm happy about that. I'm trying to get some more sun when the clouds clear up. We go through these shitty ass winters, seasonal depression and shit, and lack of vitamin D. So when that sun comes out, the city comes alive. It's beautiful. It's really fucking beautiful. It's not all doom and gloom like the internet and the news always tries to make it out to be. There's so much beautiful parts of the city. I've seen so many beautiful moments, babies playing with their parents and feeding birds in the park, and old couples walking together, and in their old age dressing flies still in their 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen so many beautiful situations, and I know social media is starting to show a little bit more of that, but I'm excited for that. I'm going to be out a lot more. I have to. There's a lot of people that really believed in my music. I was supposed to meet Jimmy Iovine at Interscope one time, and I had just started. That was literally when I just started making beats and recording. Already, they was trying to shop me off to Interscope and help me put together a project. Shout out Jari, that's my bro, that's my homie. I went to Full Sail with. I turned that down because I had the foresight to know. I said, if I don't develop myself as an artist, they're gonna try to mold me into something I'm not. So I went and did my own artist development for years. And then I've had situations where I've had on the internet people rocking with my music that's big names. I could name drop for days. Don't let numbers fool you. You might see my numbers because I'm just now really starting to put myself out there more. A lot of people around me would always say, yo, you have what it takes. You got the 360 everything to pop off, but you just don't put yourself out there. That's one of a few reasons why my clothing line is called Recluse. So, I will be putting myself out there a lot more after this surgery. A little new fire under me. So this summer, you're gonna see a lot of me out there in the city, and I'm gonna be letting my presence be known with these fits and with this aura and with this motherfucking music and this art. And y'all gotta get me on y'all stages if y'all really wanna see what the next chapter of New York, the next chapter of culture looks like and sounds like. I'm gonna unlock a lot of other individuals to add their pieces to the puzzle so we could build the next chapter of culture for hip hop and for music and for New York especially. So I'm excited for this summer to come up. TV shows. Let's see. Daredevil's fire so far. I loved the first, what was it, 3 seasons. I loved it. It was a little slow at times, but it was a really good show. Being like a full blown, like super prideful New Yorker like I am, I love to see a lot of the scenery and what was playing out. And now that they got that Disney money, you saw when he was swinging like Spider-Man with the damn staff with the grappling hook, like shit next level. That intro was crazy. Like my friend she seen me. Like I was bugging when the intro came. How he turned, that shit happened. Foggy got killed. He cried and then he threw the mask off the building, and then that mask slow motion and turned into the intro. Like that was grade A creativity right there. That shit was crazy. So I'm excited to see more of that. Severance was good, but like a lot of people, other people saying shit's getting kind of slow. It's getting kind of A24-ish. I like certain A24 movies, but you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of other A24 movies be trying way too hard to be different. Like you gotta have a balance. You can't try so hard to be different. I love shit. Anybody who loves being different is me. You know what I'm saying? My son be telling, oh, you want to be different so bad. I love shit that's out of the norm, but it's like they trying way too hard sometimes. And sometimes I get that from Severance. It's like it's too mysterious. Like, come on, like let's pick up the pace. So that's my complaint with that. I love Yellow Jackets. I'm excited to see how they finish this off, especially my old crush from when I was a little kid, from when the Casper movie and the Addams Family movie came out, Christina Ricci. I'm saying I used to have a crush on big head girls like that, big girls with big foreheads. Spider-Man was good. I hope they get Domingo Coleman to be the actual Green Goblin. I think he'll do an awesome job. And he actually was in talks with Marvel for some mysterious role. They keep announcing every day these new people in talks with Marvel for mysterious roles. The chick that's playing Snow White, now they saying she's talking to Marvel about being an X-Men character. I already know who that is. That's Jubilee. I seen a picture of her and she didn't even have short hair, and I could tell. I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be Jubilee. The same way how everyone saw Sadie Sink, they're like, oh no, it's Jean Grey. And I actually predicted it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't post it. I should have. Yeah, it's pointless. But when they announced that she's gonna be in Spider-Man recently, I was like, now that's making me think she's not gonna be Jean Grey, because that would be awkward to just put Jean Grey to shoehorn her into a Spider-Man movie. Like, yeah, she's Marvel, he's Marvel, but nah, if you know about the comic books, that just doesn't really mesh well. So I was already thinking, you know what? And they didn't confirm it. There's rumors, but they didn't confirm it. But I was already thinking, I said, I can see where they're going with this. And I don't mind. I'm not afraid to step outside of the box. A lot of diehard comic book fans sometimes are pussy about stepping outside the box. You know, you step your shit up, I'll smack you up. Get the fuck out of here, that corny ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of them have good taste, but a lot of them just want shit to be like, oh, it needs to be linear. Fuck out of here. We don't have to step too far, but let's step a little bit outside of the box. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we get Denzel as Magneto, fire. I don't think that's gonna happen because his age and how long he would have to draw out into the movies. But That would be fire. But Sadie Sink, when I heard she was gonna be in Spider-Man 4, I said, I know what they're doing. They're gonna do something outside the box. They're ending off the multiverse, and I think things are gonna get more weird and alternate universes smashing into each other and making these weird mixed universes right before it all finally concludes. She's going to be an alternate universe version of Mary Jane. At the end of Spider-Man 3, you saw how he saw Mary Jane with Ned at the coffee shop, right? And he realized, like, oh, they don't know me anymore, right? He's going to find out that that's not even Mary Jane anymore. He thought he was this whole time in the same universe. He didn't even realize that his universe had been shifting without even realizing it. And that he's in an alternate version of the universe he knew, and she's going to be another version of Mary Jane, like a more comic book accurate, and he's going to fall in love with her the same way he did with Zendaya's Mary Jane, and that's going to make him conflicted, like, yo, this feels wrong, like she's not the original Mary Jane I fell in love with, but she kind of is, like it's a variant, like, and it's gonna, the conflict of variants. That's what was gonna end it off. A lot of variant conflict. That's why I think RDJ being Doom is because they're planning on having the evil Avengers versus the regular Avengers. And I think that sounds corny when it's coming out of my mouth, but I think it's gonna be fire. They're gonna have Maestro Hulk. If you look that up, he's got like a white beard and shit. They're gonna have Evil Thor, all that shit. And I think that's happening in the comics. So that's why I think RDJ is going to be Doom. Yeah, it's a kind of a cash grab to save their asses from falling off, but I think it's also tying into actual comic book events of having a whole evil Avengers team. Um, and what was I saying about that? Oh yeah, and then speaking of Marvel, the Russo brothers who are doing the new Avengers movies that's coming up, who's doing Avengers Doomsday, they just did a movie called Electric State. Now, this is why you gotta just be happy, be proud, and put your foot down and be firm in having an opinion of your own. Because algorithms and social media will make you scared to step out of popular opinion. Now, popular opinion is saying Electric State, made by the Russo brothers who did the Avengers and who they're going to do the next Avengers. They just did Electric State, a Netflix movie with Chris Pratt and not Emma Watson, what was her name? Millie Bobby Brown. That movie, Electric State, people are shitting all over it. They said Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 17%. Rotten Tomatoes are very harsh critics. They're very weird with their critiques, and even movie buffs know that. And then like a bunch of critics was slamming it, saying it was a waste of money, and even some of the YouTubers that critique movies. We watched it, and I love it. I think it's an instant classic. I think what you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of movies from the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, the 70s that are classics now. But when they came out, they were flops, and not a lot of people liked them at first. And they became classics later on. And the same with music. A lot of people think that for something to be a classic or for something to be legendary, it has to hit right away. Like people have to love it right away. And that's not always the case. Sometimes things grow on people and then it becomes timeless. You know what I'm saying? And that's the vibe I got from it. It was very Steven Spielberg, but with a very dystopian modern twist. And I love that type of shit. I love, like I say, I love mixing things that usually aren't mixed together. Yeah, and there's all these like company corporate mascots and all these, helper robots and robots that are, like they got one that looked like the Planters peanut guys. He was used to promote a peanut company, and they all revolt against the humans, and it creates this dystopian future. And there's like segregation between robots and all that stuff. And I see that happening. I see that happening in real life. I always say, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a straight man myself, but I have friends who are in the LGBTQ plus community. And I always say, hey, if you mad about your kids wanting to be gay or bi or trans, imagine when your kids are transhumanist or whatever name they come up with for someone who wants to marry an android, and they saving up money or they working hard at college to get a good job so that they could specifically plan to buy the perfect wife or husband, because that is much easier for them than having to go through the awkwardness and the failures and the ups and downs of searching for an actual partner. What about when that happens? That's my son. That'll probably be my son's kids or his kids. So yeah, it's not that far fetched of a concept. Anthony Mackie as the robot partner of Chris Pratt. That shit was hilarious. That was like that's classic shit to me. Yeah, and I actually like Captain America too. I didn't think that was like I don't know. I'm just not as harsh of a critic as other people are of certain films. There's always like these films that everyone hates, and I'll be loving them shits. I loved Captain America. I thought that shit was great. I thought it was kind of short. And my critique with that one was the leader, because I'm a comic book head since I was little. I'm gonna say this several times so people know where I'm coming from with these comic book movies. My mom was buying me comic books back when they used to sell comics and magazines in the bodegas in New York, in the Bronx. And they used to have a spinner rack or a wall, and they would have the porn mags, which would have like these black blocks over them so that kids wouldn't see it, and adults could look back and see if they wanted to buy it. They had regular like fashion magazines and celebrity magazines, and then they had comic books, and they would have latest issues and shit like that. So that's how long I've been in the comics. I used to have a stack of cards. They need to bring back the collector's cards where you would get all these different comic book characters. You would even get side characters in these pack of cards, and I had a stack. My mom threw my shit out when I got older. I was like, no. Them shit's probably worth mad money. And she threw out my fucking OG Pokemon cards. I had the illest. Yo, I had fucking. Oh my God. I had fucking hundreds of $1,000s worth of Pokemon cards. I swear to God. I even had shit from Japan that I got in Chinatown when Pokemon was lit. So, yeah, well, back to what we talk about. I thought the leader should have looked more like the actual character from the comic books. Like the actor, I forgot his name, but he's a great actor. I think he did a good job. But the makeup and the design of the character was like, what are you trying to do, bro? Like, what are y'all slowly evolving him into it? Like, he better look like it later on. Give him a little Puerto Rican mustache and a big ass head with the Cro-Magnon man fucking eyebrows and shit. You know what I'm saying? He need that. Man, I've been dealing with Crohn's disease since I was about 11, and it's had its ups and downs. I've had 3 times where I had a piece of my intestines removed, cut, and then reattached. And that happened 3 times. And the most recent time was just a couple months ago. I know I look good because I do a lot of natural things to bounce back. It's because, I keep it strong spiritually too. I'm an occultist. I'm not into evil shit, but yes, I am an occultist. I'm very spiritual and into a lot of natural supplements and decent diet. I'm not vegan like I was at one time, but I know what not to do too much of, what I can do within moderation. And long story short, I almost died for like the second or third time a couple months ago. Got really sick. I think it was because I had a little bit of an error in 2021, 2022, and summer 2023 where I was drinking. I never was really a drinker. I used to smoke bud since I was like 16 all the way into my 20s, up, and I quit like in 2020. I wasn't really a drinker, but I went through a lot of personal situations at that time, and I ended up getting heavy into drinking hard kombucha. Now people are like, what the hell? Yeah, the reason why, because I had Crohn's, so I can't. Any of the slightest thing will mess up my stomach. Spicy foods, milk, anything. So alcohol definitely will run right through me. And I was experimenting one day. I don't drink like that, and I would drink kombucha because I heard it was good for the gut. Later, found out it wasn't that good for the gut. But at the time, I thought it was, and then I saw they had hard kombucha. So let me try that, and it didn't really mess my stomach up at the time. But then I started doing it all the time and going on my little late night in the LES missions, wilding out in LES, getting litty, meeting random people, chilling with random people. I start walking around with an entourage. I don't know where these people came from. I got a whole entourage. I bump into Gabe. He's taking pictures with his neon green hair, taking pictures, and some some burnt out Latina chick that's with us start trying to rap for him because she find out because I started bugging out like, "Yo, you Gabe?" She's like, "Oh, he's a rapper." She started trying to rap for him. I had a lot of fun, but I almost almost wore myself out doing that. My stomach, I'm not supposed to drink, even if it's something that my stomach can handle at the time. So long story short, later on after I quit, a year or two later, started getting after effects and I got so sick I needed to go to hospital, get an emergency surgery. They ended up doing the surgery, and complications that the surgery didn't fully work. I had to go back in like a day or two after I just had surgery, and I'm the levels of pain from intestinal surgery, bro. You have no idea. And I had to go back in 2 days later to get another surgery. This time they put an ostomy bag on me. Yo, much love to anybody that has to have an ostomy or colostomy bag permanently. Oof, man, y'all are superheroes to me, yo. Y'all are very powerful minded people. That shit is not easy. The amount of maintenance, you could barely sleep. You know what I'm saying? I spent the last half of 2024 like struggling, like looking crazy. I'll show you pictures. You know, I could barely sleep because I got a bag filling up with liquid shit. I'm trying to find a comfortable position to sleep while this is attached to a piece of my intestines that's pulled inside out. You know, and that type of situations takes a toll on the mental and the emotional, and not just your physical. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of mental trauma that comes with that. I went through that in 2016, and that was even worse. You know, I had PTSD from that. I was going through a lot of ups and downs, and you know, that's a long story how I rebuilt my confidence and rebuilt myself back to who I was when I was 17, 18, running around the Bronx, Mr. Popular in blocks I wasn't from. You know what I'm saying? It took a lot to get back to the old me because I was broken down. And now I'm here. This last time just lit a fire under me. And this is gonna be the last time. That's definitely the last time. That's not happening again. I'm making sure of it. Recluse will be revamped very soon. It's under construction. We had to get certain things in order first. It's not easy starting a clothing line, especially when it's a boutique type brand, very limited pieces. And as far as the music, I've already released about 5, 6 new records. Trying my best to stay consistent with dropping a new song every week. And like I said, I'm gonna keep dropping every week or every other week until it adds up to 4 albums. And that'll probably from now all the way up until winter, maybe next spring. All those songs I've been putting out every week is gonna add up to 4 different albums. That's why you're gonna hear a lot of different styles of music. I'm out, Zephy, BX. You're gonna see me out there in the Bronx a lot more often again. Weather's getting nicer. Woo! Bow!